Let's see, are we live? All right, yeah, three. Okay, cool. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday, happy weekend, and happy Memorial Day for our happy. Well, yeah, it's not really Memorial Day yet, but you guys get the point. What's going on? So, we are in the Embraer 145 XR at Houston, Texas, and yeah. So, per this description, we'll be heading to what's that place called? Jackson, Mississippi. So, I'm gonna do a little regional action here. But I guess my main objective today is I wanted to play around a little more with the Tekon or Tekon. Am I pronouncing that right? FMS. You'll get the point. The FMS, the non X-Plane 11 FMS, which did a little homework, and it's not terribly. It's not designed to be super easy, but then it's not designed to be super hard. So you guys kind of get my drift there. It's a little bit in the middle. So without further ado, we'll see if we can get this thing fired up and get out of here. So before we do that, I'm gonna try to get my overhead panel semi-configured. Let's see, we'll go ahead and fire up the APU, get some air-conditioned air blowing in here. Alright, got that guy set to start. Should come up pretty quick. Okay, so it's like that's on. There we go. So this is what kind of confused me a little bit. So the whole principle behind the Embraer, I mean, well, actually the entire lineage is they follow this dark cockpit concept. Airbus does it. You know, there's a lot of other manufacturers that do it. And so everything really needs to be dark. If everything's happy, everything's dark. There are no lights. But on the ground, there are a couple of exceptions, and it's a little confusing. Now, like I said, I haven't played with an Embraer since Phil there's Embraer back in early 2000s. So it's been a while for sure. But apparently, when the light's on here, that means your APU bleeds are on. Now, I could be wrong, but I have noticed that, you know, you hit that, then turn on your packs, then get air. So, just a FYI or heads up or what have you. So, dome light, we don't need that right now. We can turn that off. And all your lights are on this side here. I normally, especially during the daytime, I tend to try to dim those down. So you have a little neat little, well, there's a couple of menus. So you got a menu over here where it has your menu FAQ, which is pretty handy. A shout out to X-Crafts for throwing something like this together. Not many people do it. Then you got your ground menu, which, you know, GPU, your perimeter cones and chocks. Then you got your gate. Why did I say gate? No, it's not a gate, but the cargo door. I'm sorry, it's still early over here. You got that. Then you got your little pop-up of the flight management system, which is pretty nice. So you got that as well. So anywho, all right. So we're on. Like I said, we're going to be using their proprietary FMS here instead of the X-Plane. So what we'll do is we'll initialize that. And like I said, guys, I haven't just all the way studied this thing yet. It's one of those situations, you know, like I get a chance or get away from kids for a minute, I'll flip on the PDF and take a look-see. But you got that, so that's done. Then we'll jump over here to departure. So let me pull up my flight plan. Brought to you by simbrief.com. Anyway, I was kidding. But yeah, shout out to Simbrief in case you guys haven't used it yet. Give it a try. It's free and it's a really good flight planner. So we got that. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and type in the airport. So Kilo India Alpha Hotel. Bam, that gives you Houston. George Bush. So, according, let's see. I want to say the winds were favoring 1-5, but you know what? We're just going to use 1-5 because it's closest. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Houston, but you could taxi for days in Houston, and quite frankly, we don't have days. So we'll let's see, 1-5 right will be. Greetings from Carl. What's going on, Carlsbad? What's going on, dude? All my people's out there in Carlsbad, New Mexico. What's going on, man? I ain't doing much. Just trying to get a little sim action going on here. So we'll select that 1-5 right. So we'll hit the SEL button or select button. Bam, that's done. You're not going to get like a confirmation, but it's done. The only confirmation you'll get is the little 1-5 right here. You'll get that. So Sid, so let's see what instrument departure we'll be taking out this morning. So according to our flight release, we'll be, what's that, Gumby 3? I want to jack that up, make sure I was right. So Gumby 3, no, we're going to be taking that. So we'll hit our little down arrows here. And if it doesn't scroll down, which probably doesn't scroll down, just hit next page there. No Gumby 3. Interesting. So let's see, where is it? It might be because the runway doesn't favor. No, 1-5. Oh, here it is. I'm just blind. I'm old and I'm blind. Here we go. Select. Bam, that's done. So transition. We're going to take the transition around, let's see, it's off of Lake Charles. So we'll transition off of Lake Charles. So you hit your transition line select key there. And go down here to Lake Charles. Select. Bam. Done. So you're set stored. You're good for right now. And then what you want to do is come back over here to your MCDU index. Then you go to arrival. Bam. Now Jackson quote unquote international airport is a Class C airport. It's a fairly small airport. More often than not, most of your smaller airports will not have an instrument departure, especially, in small rural areas. So we'll throw it in there. Jackson Airways International got that going, and 3-5 right. Heck yeah! So the route, and you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. So the route's basically going to take us out of Houston. We're going to pass Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and we're going to head north past Hattiesburg, and then it should take us straight into Jackson. So a northerly facing runway would give us basically a straight in approach, which would be pretty nice. Star, like I said, no procedures available for this section, so no biggie. We'll dive over here. And here's all your approach transitions there. And then for approach, you got a couple. You got VOR, DME, and then, basically a VOR approach since there is no ILS. So let's say, for example, we want to take an ILS, which normally you want to kind of lean towards that to be on the safe side. Actually, while I'm in here, let's... kind of curious. Inaki. Okay. So we'll go select. Let's go back to, there we go. Select runway. And I want to say 3-5 left has an ILS. So we'll go to, yep, there we go. ILS there. And we'll select that, which I want to say you can select your, we want to select your transition first. But I don't have an approach plate in front of me, which give me a couple of seconds and I will. So I'll give you guys a little outside view real quick. There we go. That was a little outside view real quick. So The model, while I'm getting the chart, we'll just talk about the exterior model real quick. But oh wow! So like I said, the model is real detailed. You have these little, even down to the. It's been a long time, but I want to say they're called vorterons or something like that. But basically, they create little vortices, and they help in allowing the air stick to the trailing surfaces. And I say trailing surfaces as in like your ailerons, things like that. So when this thing starts getting slow, it mitigates the possibility of a wingtip stall. So basically, the wind losing contact with the airfoil, and the wingtip is no longer flying. Which, if she's not flying, it's never a good thing. So, what I'm doing is I'm jumping on here, and I have a Navcom subscription. And what's nice about Navcom, and like I said, I'm not pitching or anything like that. Nobody's paying me anything like that. I'm just letting you guys know what's helped me out. But instead of having to open up another screen or something, or whatever your PC setup is, you just download the Charts app, and download your Charts app. Then you log in, and then you have access to approach plates, airport diagrams, all that fun stuff. Especially in X-Plane and you're at a ginormous airport like Houston. And not only is it ginormous, but it can be quite complex. And it's not like flight P3D or FXX to where you can progressive taxi. You kind of have to have an idea of where you're at and where you're going, as far as taxi and all that fun stuff. So that being said, you just load it up on your phone and use your phone as a chart viewer, which is pretty slick. So that's what I'm doing now. So let's see here. Jackson. There we go. Let's see. We'll get rid of that. Let's see here if we can find what we're looking for. Airport. Okay, let's see. Where are you? And once again, I'm sorry, guys. I can't see it there, but which apparently there's some way you can connect this to your flight sim, so I'll have to do a little research on that and let you guys know. Okay, so let's see. Or another way you can do it, if you don't have Navcom, is that it? Yeah, Navcom. If you don't have that, what you can do, you can go to airnav.com. It's more so for real world aviation. I've used it, in my flight planning if I'm needing a little more airport information, or which for flight kind of takes care of a good bit of that. But if I'm needing a little more information, I'll jump on AirNav and it'll give me the the name of the FBO and phone number and stuff like that, so you can give them a call. So what is that, Faven? All right, so ABMHD, yeah. So all right, so let's jump back in the flight deck here, bring this up. So yeah, let's go ahead and pick this transition. I want to say is should be the MHZ. So we'll go down there. Select that. So that's done. So now that we have our departure and our arrival section done, you can go here and actually put in the meat and potatoes of your trip, which will be the route. So it'll be whether it be airways, fixes, airports, VRs, all that fun stuff you can put right here. So let's go down and take a look and see what we got going on here. So I'm gonna read this off to you guys because you can see it. But Gumby 3 will be the standard arrival procedure. Then from there, transition off of Lake Charles, which is Lima Charlie Hotel, direct to Lima Sierra Uniform, which is LSU. So those of us who are in the States, we know LSU is going to be I just had a brain fart. In Baton Rouge. So we'll go ahead and go to route edit. I'm sorry, add routes. And then from add routes, we'll go to, let's see, 1 second. Yep, excuse me. Went blank for a minute. So where's that? All right, so direct to LSU, then direct to MCB, Mike Charlie Bravo, then direct to Mike Hotel Zulu, and then into Jackson. So a lot of direct. So waypoint number 1, which defaults as the standard instrument departure. We don't want that. We want I believe, if I'm not mistaken, LCH is a VOR. Yeah, it's a VOR. So we'll type VOR here. And then under VOR, we'll type Lima Charlie Hotel. Throw that in there. Altitude, they want us at, where do they want us? All right, we'll be cruising at 33,000. So we'll throw in 330 in there. No, never mind. It didn't take it the last time I did it. So we'll do 33,000. All right, so this probably isn't the best way to do it or whatever. There is a really good tutorial in the manual, but this is just what I did. So just a little disclaimer there. All right, so that's done. So we'll hit save. And then waypoint 2, it's still looking for a VOR. So if it's a fix, you'll type fix and then you'll type it in. But let's see, LSU, see, that's a VOR as well. So we'll do Lima Sierra Uniform. And that's it, 33,000 feet as well. Entry accepted. Cool. The next one should be Macomb, which is Mike Charlie Bravo. So we'll throw this in here, just like that. Mike Charlie Bravo, bam, in there. And save. Next, waypoint 4. From there, we'll go to Mike Hotel Zulu. Be a VOR as well, and I want to say, if I remember correctly, that is a low altitude VOR, Mississippi. But anyway, so Mike Hotel Zulu, bam, just like that. Save. All right. So yeah, and then direct to good old Jackson. All right, so that's done. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go to our performance. Now, I could be wrong, but from what I was messing with it yesterday, and it does adjust your payloads. So just give you a heads up, this is also kind of like a load manager as well. If what I'm reading and studying is correct, so just FYI. All right, let's see. So we'll go up here. So like I said, SimBrief gives you like a full OFP type style of life. So our block fuel is calling for 6,700. So 67 or 0 in there, and put accepted. Let's see, payload weight. Was it 39? Let's see, we'll bring this up here to like, I don't know, 43 passengers or something. I don't know. All right, so that brings up to like 37. So that's close enough. You guys get the point. All right, so one more thing we can do. We can put our cruise altitude here. So enter initial and final cruise altitude. So we'll do flight level 330 there. I'm missing cruise beat. You can throw in something like point, because like I said, keep in mind this thing has no auto throttle. But I did read, like, so let's say for example, you know, you're in a situation, you know you're going to be leaving, you know you're not going to be there or whatever, be in front of your computer constantly. You can, I want to say, and this will be in the manual, but there is a an auto throttle built in for quote unquote developmental purposes. So if you're in a pinch and you need an auto throttle, I want to say it's this. Now, what other conditions need to be met to do that? I don't know. I didn't dive in that far, but I was just like, ooh, auto throttle. So just letting you guys know, you know, for your convenience, they did build in an auto throttle for us. But other than that, by default, you're the auto throttle. So just keep that in mind. So wind direction will be out of the northwest at 32 knots. Cruise wind outside air temperature negative 37. All right, it's negative 37 there. And well, let me that intake. Entry accepted. Okay, I'm assuming got it. Well, let's just to make sure. Just to make sure entry accepted. All right, cool. So for the most part, I mean, there's some other, I'm sure some other wizardry you can do, but for the most part, your flight plan's built. So you can hit execute, and it says flight plan done, and you can go here and ta-da, your flight plan's there. So it's pretty slick. So what we'll do here, now that we've accomplished all that, we can roll this guy up here, 33,000. And your V speeds are also in here as well. And then we'll hit FMS, get the little magenta FMS display. Double check and make sure I'm not missing anything, which I probably am. I'm gonna put it past me. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, we are in the XR version, so we do have that auxiliary fuel pump system, both A and B. Normally this trip is ran by 145, but I wanted you guys to at least see the XR. I don't think I've done the 135 just yet, but you know. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we'll do, we'll meander outside the airplane, close everything up, and we'll get out of here. 922. Okay. All right. So yeah, there's a little cargo door there, and you got your air stairs. We'll fold all that up. Cargo door. Close this. And pull the chocks. And then we'll double check and make sure we're good to go up here. Let's see. So we're good to go there. So we can go ahead and pull the GPU as well. Bam, that's pulled. You do also have an opening window for those of you who are into details. You got the opening window. Just an FYI. So we'll load up our bear pushback.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Alright, 10-4. Alright, so we'll kind of canter over here. Pretty short push. Yeah, kind of go, Actually, probably end up doing is we'll just go straight back because that's a little. Yeah, we'll go straight back there. It's kind of. Man, there we go.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
All right, before I forget, let me get my altimeter setting. Where are you? All right, 3039 will be the altimeter. The barometric pressure. That's in there. All right. And I don't know, me, that's kind of bump my seat up a little bit. All right, so beacon on, that's on. Hydraulic pumps on. Fuel pumps are on. All right, so we'll wait for, once we get started up, turn that on. All right, cool. Looks like we're ready to go there. You can.
All right, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
All right, we're ready to go. Excuse me.
We got that winching strap and adapter hooked up. Go ahead and let go of the parking brake when you're ready for a push.
All right, so pull that back, cool. So it's going to pull us forward a little bit to get us on a little ramp and then lift us up, and then we'll be on our way.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
All right, so indeed we will. All right, so we'll go ahead and start at number 2. Make sure we're clear on the right-hand side. And hopefully thing cooperates. I'll just hold it for a minute. You'll hear the packs turn off automatically, which is pretty nice. You can dive back here and get the full effect with the passengers and all that fun stuff, I suppose, whichever is your thing. Kind of pick your head up. Boop. All right, we'll jump up front here. Now, like I said, I don't know I can't vouch for the startup times. Can't vouch for those at all. I'm pretty sure you can YouTube it and watch a startup video to see how quickly they're supposed to start up. But they are a little fast, but I don't know. I mean, it's you know. All right, so yeah, looks like number 1's coming up there. All right, so we'll close that
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
All right, parking brake set right there.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
All right, that's good. Oh, let's see, where else we at? All right, APU off, and we'll go ahead and turn on our ice protection. All right, give them the hand signal. All right, we'll go ahead and get our flaps going. And what we'll do here, we'll go back to our performance page, and trim requirement should be 5 up. So we'll bring our stabilizer trim up to 5.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
All right, so that's done there. And I think our flaps, all right, put our flaps down to 9, so that's good. Everything's all happy there, so we can go our takeoff page here. Hit that, so that's good, and that gives you your thrust rating. So now we should be able to hear takeoff config.
No takeoff. Brakes.
Oh, well, yeah, parking brake, of course, but let's see, we'll do it again.
Takeoff okay.
All right, cool. So yeah, we're good to go. All right, let's see if we can ease out of here. And I believe we're looking for 1.5 right. I mean, no, yeah, 1.5 right. Now, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I do find it a lot easier to read the taxi signage on X-Plane than P3D. Or maybe I'm blind and can't see. Alright. Come out a little bit further. And we'll go ahead and make a left right here. Now what you can do, I mean, taxi speeds are fairly decent. You can bring the power up a little bit, get up to speed, and then you can walk it back. And she seems to hold pretty good. Listen a little bit. And like I said, Houston is a ginormous airport. So just be forewarned. Okay. All right. I think we're in the ballpark here. Slow down just a little bit. The 1.5 left approach. All right. And once we get to the threshold, we'll stop here for a minute just to verify. Make sure. Alright, stop right there. Yeah, 1.5 right, so we'll keep on going here. Crossing 1.5 left. There's 1.5 right. Alright, we'll do here, we'll go ahead, let me double check something real quick, make sure. The 26 dropped frames. Make sure my quality is still halfway decent for you guys. Alright, strobe's on, lighting lights on. That's good there, that's good there. Yes, sir. Speed up for about 240. Okay. All right, pretty close here. I told you, freaking Houston is a massive airport. If you haven't been there, just pretty much, you know, bank on taxiing for about 3 years minimum. All right, let's see. I believe that is our runway over yonder. Bam, there we go. All right, cool. And this was a short trip, and there's some of them, like if you're taking off on the opposite runways, like I said, you'll be taxiing for days. All right, let's go ahead and get out of it right there. Alrighty, let's see, let's double check, make sure everything's good up here. All right, let's go ahead and check the active. While we're doing that, we'll go ahead and turn on our flight director. And then what I normally do, I know there's a lot of checklists that I call for it as well, is go ahead and sync your heading bug with your runway heading. That way, if you run into anything weird or whatever, you know, you can just fly runway heading and get yourself together. So we're taking 115 right there, and you're nice and lined up on the center line. Just like that. Like I said, we'll do this here. And yeah, the gust lock should be for it, but the gust lock does come up when you apply takeoff power. Like I said, just to verify, make sure we're good here. Nothing crazy. Make sure everything's configured, flaps are down, all that fun stuff. We don't want to be on the next episode of Air Disaster, so just want to make sure we're all lined out, looking good, and we'll go ahead and send it. So takeoff power. All right, takeoff power is set. Engine instruments within limits. Airspeed is indeed alive. All right.
V1, rotate. V2.
She does get a little wobbly on the roll axis, so just kind of be prepared for that. Kick in a little right rudder there. I think we got some wind. All right. Ease out the power a little bit. Go ahead and get those flaps up. Then at this point, we'll try to... There's a lot going on, so it does help to, you know, kind of space yourself out. All right, bring the power back a little more. And then we'll try to hit this little speed. Hit that guy there. And then we'll go ahead and hit our nav button. Alright, trim out just a little bit. And then if you'd like, you can press the AP button and you're good to go. And what you'll do here, thrust rating, and then you just bring her up to, and you have to use your bare judgment. Right now, for example, it's calling for 89%, but if you look at our vertical speed, it's like 4,200 foot per minute. So I don't know if, you know, it's a little excessive. So normally I'll try to get it, you know, get it in the 70s. Now she does tend to oscillate just a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing insane. You know, once she gets on course, it does line out fairly nicely. So we're coming up, what is it, about 3,000 foot per minute. Now I got the our power set about 79%. So far so good. We're at 10,000 feet, so landing lights off and seatbelt signs off. And yeah, so far so good. And like I said, you can mosey back here, and I think there is wing flex as well. For those of you who are interested, there is wing flex. Like it'll, you know, I mean, it's nothing exaggerated, nothing crazy, but there is a degree of wing flex built into the model, so that's pretty nice as well. Also, in regards to your views, you can set custom quick looks on this one. I think it's like your numpad or something, but anyway, you can set like certain like custom views, or like, you know, that view. That's pretty much the only one I got, I think, actually. Because more often than not, I can get to where I need to. If I need to zoom in, I can, or whatever, you know. They do give you a lot of flexibility there. Aero Rocket, hi, hey, what's going on, bud? Welcome to the channel. So you got that. So right now we're at 15,000 feet for flight level 330, if I can talk today. So like I said, going back to the autopilot, right? So first you got your flight director, you got all of your lateral navigation functions here, your autopilot. Yeah, so I mean, flight director, lateral navigation, autopilot controls for the most part, like autopilot on or off, couple, uncouple, left or right, whatever, and your yaw damper. So, because I have had this explained to me, so I'm gonna try to do the best I can here. Just want to catch this transition here. Sorry, 290, all right. So with that being said, let me do this real quick. They're gonna be weird. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so oh yeah, the auto throttle. So there is a, like I said, there is a quote unquote hidden auto throttle. And it's this screw here. So it doesn't really say a whole lot else. It just says auto throttle. So I'm assuming, here's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming, like, for example, 240, which, by the way, we need to fix that. We'll bring her up to about 270. 270 there we go. So yeah, it doesn't really say much else on it. I'm assuming you just have your, it'll keep whatever your current speed is. So let's say we're at 270, you hit that, it'll maintain 270, which is pretty cool. Like, so you're in a pinch, you gotta go to the toilet, whatever. You can go hit that, go to the bathroom, come back, you're good to go. See if there's anything else. So your speed mode, so we would think, you hit the speed button, it's gonna maintain your speed, whatever. So how it maintains your speed is using attitude. So you'll set the speed using the speed button, and it'll adjust attitude to either go slower or faster, since pitch plus altitude equals performance. So you'll use your pitch to control your airspeed, your power to control your altitude, more or less. So but for example, if you got, like I said, we're at 81% in one, so she pitched for 270. Once she caught 270, she continued upwards. I mean, she's continuing upwards to 330, which is what we want. So let's say, for example, if we're descending and we're still at 270 or whatever, so, or let's say we're at cruise altitude and we pull power and we set our speed up for 270. So it'll hold that altitude, which I haven't tried it yet, but it'll hold the altitude until you hit 270, then it'll start pitching for 270, so it'll descend at 270 knots. Now, on the other hand, you have what's called flight level change. So basically, it's an automatic way of increasing or decreasing your altitude while maintaining a predetermined airspeed or rate of descent. So if you set the autopilot, whatever altitude you set in the autopilot, it's going to climb to that. If it's lower, it's going to descend. So it's more concerned about the altitude. So instead of trying to wait for a certain speed and then pitching for that speed, let's say you're at 33,000 and you want 310. So we put in 310 there, flight level change. It's going to pitch to get to 31,000. Yeah. So yeah. So vertical speed, we all know about that, and all this I'm telling you is also in the manual as well. Vertical speed, set your vertical speed, whatever. Altitude, we know about that. Then FD2 is going to be on the first officer side, I'm assuming. Oh, so you have that. Trying to think of any. Like I said, the initial stream, I just gotten off of work. I'm like, oh, holy smokes, you just released this thing. Let me show everybody. So, let's see anything else I can think of as far as basic functionality. So most of us, let's see, are returning. All right, yeah, just double check. So just keep in mind, even if, even in the real world, these autopilots aren't perfect. So, they're, just keep in mind they're there to be managed. So just try to pay attention to it if you can, because sometimes they will do some weirdness, and sometimes the nav data is all screwy. Another big thing to worry about. So let's say, for example, we're and this is for any aircraft. You're following the flight plan and all that. I mean, you got your flight plan, putting in all that fun stuff. So, I'm assuming, like I said, I don't know much about the naming of VRs and all that fun stuff and how they get the names, but there are some out there that have the same name or the same 3-letter abbreviation. So, for example, one that I run into a lot, since I mostly fly around the southeast, is Sawmill, which is Sierra Whiskey Bravo. Well, there's another Sierra Whiskey Bravo about 5,000 miles away. So if you put that in and you fly it, you'll get this weird. You'll get, like, for example, like you'll pass this waypoint. Let me see if I bring this up. You'll pass this waypoint, and then it'll go to Sawmill, which Sawmill's like way over there. So you'll see where it just veers off into nothingness, and it goes for like thousands of miles. So just be careful with that. On your traditional flight management systems, you can go to your prog page, and it'll give you like the overall distance. On this one, you can go to your cruise, and it'll give you your the destination and nautical miles, and then it'll also give you the time. So if it's something crazy or something way off from your intended flight plan, then it's probably something wrong. You probably want to go to route edit and just double check to make sure what you're putting in is actually what it is. So you go to there, route edit, and then you can double check. You can double check to make sure the Latin log is accurate, which most flight plans will have the lat and long of the VOR fixed, wherever it may be. It'll have the Latin latitude and longitude, so you can cross-reference that, make sure okay that lines out. So so you're not 4 hours later you're supposed to go maybe 70 miles, and 70 miles somehow turns into 7,000 miles, and yeah. Don't ask me how I know, but yeah. So there's that. And for the most part, like I said, it's fairly straightforward. Now, I wouldn't go so far. Most of the times I still fly my descents in vertical speed mode. Just because, like I said, a lot of times you're getting, step down instead of just, straight down from your cruise altitude to your initial approach fix. You'll get that as well. So just be mindful of that. During while you're flying this thing. But I mean, like I said, now that's in the daytime, I mean, just super detailed model. The texturing is real nice. Another little nuance there, especially dealing with aircraft that don't have a, quote unquote auto throttle, is once you hit cruise, it's especially if you're at, 80, 90% on your N1 and you're still set for climb mode, and you finally hit that, hit your top of climb. And if you haven't brought your power down at all, she's a very slick airplane, and once she gets lined out, she's a very fast airplane, so you will pick up airspeed quick. So just be, if you're like we all have lives, right? Most of us, don't do this, for a living, and we all have lives, stuff like that. So you go and you come back. If you're pretty close to your top of climb, just kind of be close to the computer and be ready to bring your power back, so you won't pick up, any overspeeds or anything like that. Even now, like, I'm coming in a little hot, so we're gonna walk it down to, you know, like my 0.78, you know, point whatever, you know, whatever, you know, you need to get where you got to go, you know, just keep it around there. Wherever your cost index calls for, you know, just keep it around that. So let's see. And once you get your power settings together, you know, I have found that does hold it quite well. So we'll just kind of keep her right about there. And I mean, she's solid, 0.76, so it's good airspeed. So there's that. Another thing, and this is going back to the prior to taking off, but normally you'll set your takeoff data in this little window here, but it's not active. So what you'll do, you'll set, you know, just like we did earlier. You know, you'll set your numbers, you know, your trims, all that fun stuff. You'll set all that up, and then you'll hit this takeoff config, and it's kind of the same thing as, you know, you setting up here. And so you'll get that no takeoff data enunciation away. It'll take that away for you. Another thing, you can also go here into Autopilot, and what do you know? It tells you what the Autopilot's doing. So, you know, like target heading, you know, it had set for runway heading, so you could change that. I want to say you can change it here as well. So we're at 0.78, so we'll do 0. Let's see. I don't want to blow anything up, but we'll try it. Oh, cool. Entry accepted. So what I was nervous about, I was nervous that, you know, if we put it here, it'll automatically, you know, initiate the heading mode, but it doesn't. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, you can dial in all your parameters here you want. It's pretty slick. You know, so you're just saying that you want 1,500 feet per minute, type in 1,500 feet per minute, which you can also use your keyboard as well. So you'll click it down here with your mouse, and you can do, it'll get a little, and gives you a, you know, an audible enunciation as well. So, you know, because I've had this, actually, I think that first stream, if you guys heard it, you probably heard a lot of that. Well, I guess I accidentally clicked it, and yeah, accidentally clicked it, so I was actually typing in the flight management computer instead of, yeah. So just be mindful of that. Now, on your vertical speed, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to have to do the plus or the minus. Or you may have to do like minus 1,500 foot per minute and then put it in there to descend. And you just may have to just take the minus out to climb. I don't know. Hadn't tried it yet. So there's that. Let's see, so we'll click out of that. So kind of, I know your backspace is here, so you can kind of backspace there. You know, like little stuff like that. It's, like I said, it's not overly complicated. I think what it is, because I've done it myself. So, you know, you know, especially flight simming, you know, you mess with all different types of aircraft, and, you know, we have the luxury of being able to, you know, when we're talking a lot of aircraft that are study level, so, you know, we'll get used to the Boeing style, Airbus style. I think the Embraer uses the Honeywell Primus setup. I don't know what model it is, but I think it's the Honeywell Primus setup. And it's a little different than this. So if you're expecting the Honeywell Primus setup and you get this, you're like, wait a minute, it's not quite, you know. So like I said, they let's see, what model was that they did before? Oh, the 1.7 and the 1.75, I think, back when that was first released. They, you know, people made a bit stink about it. So they released a bunch of videos. So if you YouTube X-Crafts, plural, there's a bunch of videos on how this thing works, and between that and the manual, works great. Like I said, it'll get you to where you have to go, which is pretty nice. Or what you can do if you still don't like it, which I totally understand. You can use the traditional X-Plane 11 FMS, but you can still utilize your performance page for your like a quote unquote load manager. Which speaking of that, let me. Okay. A little weird. So I have noticed, and it's probably me, um, but let's see. No, that's about right. That's about right. That's about right. I saw this and I was wait a minute. I'm in the XR. All right, cool. Never mind. I digress. So yeah, there's that. Now the ECS. I don't know if we can adjust the temperature. Maybe. I don't know if we can. Push knob, pull knob for manual control. Can we pull it? I don't think we can pull it. I don't know. Guess we can't pull it. But like I said, just keep in mind this, is not meant to be, quote unquote, study level. It seems to be close from what I've been told. So, just keep that in mind. Don't expect, to probably, to get through ground with this thing, if you're training to be a jungle jet driver. So yeah, don't expect that because you'll get your feelings hurt. But if you're looking for, and I'm pretty sure you would assume the flight dynamics are fairly close, so you can probably do a little bit of air work with this thing. But in avionics, they look pretty close from looking at videos and things like that. Like I said, just don't expect just the highest fidelity possible. Basically, and a lot of people will talk about the price, so you don't have to buy the full package. I bought the full package because I like all of them, especially like the 135, the 145. You don't see. I digress. So the 145 XR, I don't see a lot. I remember seeing them a lot in Houston, but you don't see a lot of them because they're they're fairly long legged. More often than not, I see a lot of the 145s. 140s and the 135. So the 135 is kind of like the turboprop of the regional world nowadays. So like I said, we, especially like in Southeast, we don't get a lot of turboprop activity anymore like we used to. It's mostly like the Pacific Northwest, Northeast, and that area there. So you get a lot of trips, like 70, 80-mile trips that are ran by the 135. So I believe the 135 is like maybe 40 seats or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's I mean, it's a decent capacity for 80-mile route. You know what I mean? So there's that. And then like 145s, like your, 300, 400, 500-mile trips. Now if I had to choose between this or the CRJ 200, I will take this all day long. All day long. But that's just me, I'm a kind of a taller person, so I know to look out the windows of 200, you kind of have to crane your neck a little bit, so it's a little weird. But I mean, like I said, for the most part, this thing's fairly straightforward as far as operationally. All this, like I said, everything's dark. As you can see, I think the only thing that's illuminated is, ARB, which which pump you want to use. But you know, everything's fairly automated now. I want to say I haven't been in any sort of icing conditions with this thing just yet, but I do remember that we used to, that you should get some sort of icing enunciation there, and seeing that, you know, icing detected or something like that. I don't remember, it's been years, but just be, you know, if you see that, you have this and you see that, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. But as far as trying to think what else, I mean, it's really straightforward. The fire handles do work. That is functional. I think there's a couple of things here, like your guarded switches, they're not functional. A lot of your, you know, most of the things, which I see this a lot lately. I know Aerosoft does it. If it doesn't pertain to the normal operations of the aircraft, they omit it. For, I'm assuming, for time as well as cost, they omit it. So, you know, your engine pump shutoffs for your hydraulics, yeah, unless it's like an emergency situation, you're not going to really use it. Which is nice up here, and just notice this, but depending on what pump, system 1 or system 2, it also labels, gives you an idea of what system that hydraulic pump is responsible for. So ailerons, rudders, and all that fun stuff. It's pretty nice. But yeah, so just expect, if it's not anything that's pertinent to the operation of the airplane, it's probably not on here. Be forewarned. Once again, you know, it's, you know, made for a more casual type experience, which totally respect that. I think for a lot of us, you know, we're just happy that we finally get an Embraer. I know for me, I'm happy that, you know, yes, got an Embraer. So let's see here. That being said, I believe we can kind of mosey. Let's see. Perf 2, cruise. So it just gives you an idea. Now, this isn't updated at all. I think it just says, okay, this is how far point A and point B is. This is how long it, quote unquote, should take, based on the values that you provide in here. Then you also have your approach there, which you can change this. So, you know, if you're curious, you know, like what would my speeds be like, you know, at 3,600 pounds. I mean, I'm sorry, 3,700 pounds, something like that. So you can dial in 3,700 pounds and it'll give you your V speeds. You can also adjust it here for kilograms as well, for those of you who favor the metric system. There's that. And so you can do that as well. Progress, which is what we're kind of looking for there. Progress screen there. So we're about $1.70 out. So we're getting pretty close. We'll probably start descent here in the next few miles. We should be crossing Macomb here shortly. Our Mike Charlie Bravo will be starting that. We'll be starting. So yeah, we'll definitely be starting our descent here soon. Feel, and it looks like it's, you know, fairly accurate. And then it gives you a little general top of descent there. Don't go by this 100%. Kind of use your, you know, use your better judgment. You know, kind of, you know, do your own calculations. I'll put it to you like this. So this data is only good as the data that you're putting in and the conditions. So if you're thinking, you know, we're going to be going at, you know, 0.72, something like that, or whatever on the Mach or whatever, this might be a little short, you know, or this may be a little long. Looks like we're making that turn there, heading towards Macomb. So yeah, you get a little flex there. I mean, I don't think I've really seen these flex a whole lot, you know. So, you know, I know some people, it's pretty big. Gotta have the wing flex, but you know. Good to see you. Oh, how's it going, bud? Good to see you too, man. Good morning. But yeah, we're pretty close. Getting pretty close to where we're at Macomb, 60 miles out. Next week in race C, so we'll hold off for a minute, see what happens. So you don't get that prediction. I know on the CRJ 200, you'll get like a little prediction based on your vertical speed. You know where you should be at. You don't get that there. So, like I said, just especially on your descent profile, really be on top of it. Because you know you don't want to come in super early, but then you don't want to drag it into your to your final destination. You know, so like I said, just kind of be on top of your descent profile. But what we'll do, I will go ahead and drop it to 210. Bring the speed back nice and easy. And we'll go ahead and start a gentle, and do about 1900 foot per minute. It will be a really nice upgrade. And I'll be honest with you, if they were able, I totally agree. If they were able to redesign the FMC to replicate the actual ERJ, and you know, like I said, this is my personal opinion, I would totally pay for it. You know, even if it was a paid upgrade, I'd totally pay for it. Totally pay for it. Let's see, we'll go ahead and squeeze about 23 out of it, about 23 foot per minute. They did put some little Easter eggs in here. I kind of got a little chuckle from, you know, may the force be with you, you know, Star Wars, calling anyone surely in the cockpit is not allowed, you know. Then you got the Willy Wonka golden ticket there. You know, pretty funny. It's like a overall view there of the flight deck, what you're looking at. Kind of a semi jump seat view. Like I said, nice, you know, really nice model. Then you can come back here into your cabin view there. Nice clean cabin, textures are really good. Heck yeah. I mean, 20 bucks, you know, for, you know, 25 bucks, whatever, for a good representation of the, you know, flight management system. I am game. Sign me the heck up. You know, but, you know, like I said, I think the development team is only like 2 people, if I'm not mistaken. And then, you know, this isn't their primary business. They're, you know, they have side jobs, families, you know, so I get it. You know, I mean, that's a, you know, like trying to code an actual flight management computer into the sim, I could not imagine the time that takes. You know, I mean, it's very, very time consuming. You know, I could see that as like a long-term project for sure. But, yeah, and I wouldn't really just get my hopes totally up for that. Because, you know, I mean, it's, you would think, you know, in my mind, well, you know, it shouldn't be that involved. You know, I mean, it's not a Boeing or an Airbus, you know, flight management system. But trying to, you know, even just, you know, even the Honeywell Primus system, I'm sure would be a programming feat nonetheless. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that one. I would love to see an upgrade. You know, absolutely, yeah. It's a really small team, you know, and every now and then, like I said, I normally lurk on the forums. Like I rarely go in because like most of everything else, I can kind of search it up and find it, but you know that all about once a week, you'll read that, is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? For years. Um, and like I said, it's I find it best to just like not think about it, just forget about it. Just you know, in your mind, okay, we're not getting an Embraer ever for flight sim, and then when it finally comes out, you're surprised. But yeah, small teams like that, it's not like an outfit like PMDG or where these guys they live and breathe this stuff. They may go develop for, I don't know, another company here, and come home, eat dinner, raise your kids for about 20 minutes, and then you got to go, you know, code an airplane for flight sim or something. So yeah, definitely shout out to the developers on that one. But I mean, I don't know. The Embraer is just a really pretty looking airplane to me, for lack of better terms. Um, Really nice looking airplane, and the Bombardier series is also appealing to the eye as well. It's just, man, just that freaking CRJ 200, my goodness. All right, so we're almost at 21,000. So I'm gonna bring the speed up just a little bit. We'll hold it right there for a couple of miles, and then we'll continue our descent into Jackson. So yeah, those of you who just chimed in, we left Houston. I think this is like flight 4833 or something weird. I normally go on flight aware, go to like a major airport. Okay, what's flying, and I really don't care too much about the times, but I'll go ahead and I'll look. Okay, what's flying? What type of equipment they're using, and I'll do that. Just kind of it gives us a good idea of what a lot of these operators are using. Are using this equipment for. And like I said, I've seen them. You don't see them. The market in the regional sector is really big. I'll say that. So, for example, let's think about it. You got the 170, 175. Then you got the CRJ 200. You got the CRJ 700, the CRJ 900. And then every now and then, depending on the size of the airport, let's see. I'm trying not to think about the Rotec. Let's see. Exactly, and every one of those you listed are all the ones I'm just chomping at the bit for. Especially that Challenger 600 is going to be nice. That MD-11 is going to be candy as well. The Global 6000, yeah, you're going to be busy for quite some time. I don't do a whole lot of long hauls, but when I do, it's normally an MD-11. I remember when PMDG released theirs years ago, and man, that thing was the bee's knees, and for some reason, it's like they just disowned it, sent it off to an orphanage, never to be thought about again. And it hurt a lot of people's feelings, and you can definitely tell in the forums it hurt a lot of people's feelings, but they absolutely have no intentions on doing anything for the ESP engine. So that'll be Flight Sim, that'll be FXX, P3D, version 4. They've already said they do not plan in the foreseeable future to do anything with the MD-11, so that leaves this X-Plane. And Rotate actually does a really good rendition of the MD-80 series. So if you guys haven't checked out Rotate, definitely check out their MD-80. It's pretty solid. The only thing I saw about their MD-11, MD-80, and this is just me being petty, it seemed that the struts were a little uncompressed to me, but that's just really nit, because the thing's so good looking, you really gotta okay, let's just try to find something wrong with it. It's not the kind to release crap so high. Oh yeah. Just like I said the other day with the MD-11, when you got such a popular you know, it's almost like, you know, like for me, let's say, for example, if, you know, where I'm going to do Stalker Actuals development company, I am not going to pick a popular aircraft to do because the expectations will be so bloody high. If you screw it up, it's just like you're ruined. You know, like it's something that you just flat out cannot screw up. And I agree with you. Rotate, they even with their MD-80, it was in development for quite some time. I was one of the beta testers for it, and you know, every little issue that we had was immediately addressed in the next release. So shout out to Rotate for that one, and shout out for the MD-80 that they're working on, because I'm super stoked for that one. And then Hot Start, they're about to do a Challenger. Goodness gracious, have you guys seen their TB? If it's anything on the scale of their 900, my gosh, my goodness, I'm not the one to really get too excited about, you know, a virtual airplane, but goodness gracious, that the 900 is scarily realistic. Like, it's so realistic. I would do a Skyvan, exactly. I would pick the most obscure aircraft no one's ever seen before and do that. You know, like the, I don't know, heck, like the Wright Flyer or something. I don't know. Like something just really just no one knows about. You know, so if you jack it up, you know, everybody's like, yeah, you know, whatever. You know, but yeah, going back to their Hot Start, to the Hot Starts TBM, a lot of people had problems with, I'm over here yapping. All right, cool, 76 mile. All right, we'll go ahead and get it down here. We'll go ahead and pick about 6,000. Never mind, let's do that. We'll do 3,000. Final approach fix is about 2,000. So let's go ahead and crank her down there. But it was so realistic. A lot of, you can say unrealistic and nobody flew it. There you go. That my thoughts exactly. But yeah, the thing was so realistic until a lot of people, including myself, had problems with. Because I use the SciTech rudder pedals, and not only are there SciTech, which are decent, you know, but my pedals are like close to 10 years old. Yep, I know. So keeping the thing on the runway was a feat. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I don't even know how in the world we got on it went from X-Crafts ERJ 145 to the TBM, but I gotta talk about the TBM for a minute. It was so bloody realistic. Like I said, a lot of people had a problems keeping it on the runway with, you know, trying to simulate the, you know, the torque. You know, I mean, just the inputs. I mean, you weren't fast enough to keep the plane on track. So they made an update, and it's much more pleasant to fly. So FYI, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. I may do a stream with it sometime in the near future. I think I did one past, but it was complete disaster because I couldn't keep the thing straight. So, but yeah, so yeah, we're at 17,000 there, getting close to Jackson, Mississippi, which is Kilo Juliet Alpha November. So we're below that transition altitude. Let's see if I can get some weather info for Jackson. 3019 on the altimeter. Kind of loud. 30. What was it? What did I say? 3019. Yeah. 3019 there for the altimeter setting. And like I said, going to this little MCDU index, you know, gives you a good idea of what type of performance you can expect on your approach and landing. So it's predicting a weight of 3,900 pounds. I mean 39,000 pounds. Now where are we at? Let's see. 34. So that's a little weird. So what we can do, I have 80 hours in the PC-12. Focus tremendous next week TBM on the list. Yeah, so I mean, if you've had any experience with a really high performance single, imagine trying to do that in a sim, And I mean, it made a lot of people frustrated, but you couldn't really fault the developer for giving people what they wanted. A lot of people want, it has to be study level, it has to be realistic. And when someone gives it to them, they don't like it, So just be careful. Sometimes in the flight sim world, we do tend to get what we ask for, and so, just don't get upset, just voice your opinion. And, they listened, they think they dialed it back a little bit. So it's much more pleasant on the yaw control. So just giving you guys a heads up on that one. It looks like we're coming out at 13,000. We're probably just going to do a visual approach. It should be pretty clear in Jackson right now. What's our distance looking like? We can find that out here by going to our progress screen. And see, we're 53 nautical miles out, so that'll work out. I think we'll be just fine there. Now it's yeah, we should be slowing down here at 250 here shortly. Yeah, I'll be good to go. And normally, like I said, I'll go ahead and sync my heading bug. And just to get this guy prepped for when we do start our final approach. Now, like I said, Jackson is a Class C airport, so normally you'll get with Jackson approach. And I say that because I'm from Mississippi. Give us a smooth. I'll try not to jack it up. Yeah, I'll make sure my landing lights are on this time. My goodness, I was like, "Where in the world's runway?" Then thump. Oh my gosh. Oh, I remember I was flight training, and one of these old guy stories. But I remember when I was flight training and flight trained out in Arizona. We were going to Gila Bend Airport, it's an airport out in the middle of freaking nowhere. And this is one of those things. And it was a learning experience about, doing a checklist, not forgetting that, descent checklist. And of course, by that time I had a couple hundred hours, and how you get to be kind of, I remember it and this, memory items or whatever. And, of course I was by myself. And I'm on final, and I keyed up the pilot controlled lighting. Exactly, and it's like it was the darkest. I'm like, I can't see the freaking runway. Luckily, I can see the light, so I'm like, okay, so I hung in ground effect a little bit, and I was like, and then I looked down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not forget the freaking landing lights. So yeah, just that's my little confession to you guys. That's my one, biggie in like not following the checklist. So yeah, just don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. But it's one of those learning experiences you gain throughout your career. And luckily I caught it before it got crazy, because I mean sometimes the pilot control lighting doesn't work, or something like that, and you lose that. You have no idea where the runway is. And of course, when in doubt, go around. So that's my public service announcement for today, and that's all you guys are getting out of me. Alright, so we're around 6,000 feet or so. Should begin the airport in sight, which I believe that is it there. So what we'll do, I want to say, let's see, I just looked at the weather for Jackson. Let's see, that in there, and I want to say the winds are favoring. They're starting to favor 1-6, so that's fine. we'll just make it a downwind. So, like I said, we've already synced our heading bug. So we'll just throw her in heading mode there. And we'll slow up that descent a little bit. We'll come out to about 1,000 foot per minute. And we'll kind of make this like a pseudo downwind there. Let's see. There we go. There we go. I'm going to get out of the power just a little bit. I want to get down to about 180 before I make that base turn. Preferably 170, but let's see. Who never call for taxi realized you did. Oh my gosh, no, not just that. Tie the plane down. Or you'll get the tie downs for the wings. And wait a minute, hold on, let me check my. So I figured that out. Normally, what I'll do, before I say okay, ready to go get it, I'll make that one last loop around the aircraft just to make sure. Okay, we've got this, got that, shots. I didn't leave my fuel strainer jar, my little fuel testing jar out, or the fuel caps off, anything. I've had FBOs, the ramp guys, they're busy, got other aircraft to fuel, but, they'll forget to, put the cap on. And I've seen them do that. So, just little minor things you'll pick up can, heck, potentially save your life. So. But yeah, so yeah, looking pretty good here on approach. Landing lights are on. And we'll go ahead and notify the cabin. We'll let them know. Does it have that stereo cockpit light? There we go, stereo cockpit light. Bam, there we go. So we're all FAA'd up right there, so we should be good. And we'll slow that vertical speed down just a smidget. Let her line out right there. Just starting to walk that speed back, let it bleed off nice and easy. And then once we get around 180, we'll get under it and make that base leg. And let's see here. Let me just want to be sure. Let's see, 2200. So that's, we'll bring that down a little bit to. Oh my goodness. So just be careful, because you have two little, I want to call them detents, but they're not detents, but one for your thousands of feet and then one for your hundreds. So just keep that in mind there. All right, looking pretty good. And I'm just going to kick in just a hair of flaps. We'll do flaps 9. Bring up the power a little bit, because she's going to want to slow way down. And then we'll go ahead, if I can get myself, there we go, we'll make that base turn right there. And keeping that speed under control. That's this is when oh, thank you, sir. This is when having someone to help you out, or having an FO would be just awesome to help you aviate, first of all, navigate and then communicate. Because if we were like a VAT sim, something like that, we'll be talking with tower, getting all that fun stuff together. So this is the reservoir, Ross Burnett Reservoir, for those of you who are wondering. All right, so I'm going to try to shoot for 1/6 left. That's the plan, at least. All right, and I'll go ahead and take the controls there. It's a fun airplane to fly, so Alright, got her. Got her about lined out there, rolling out on 1/6 left, nice and easy. Walking that speed back, and we'll go ahead and call gear down right there. Bringing that power up because she will slow down on you. And go ahead and start walking that power back just a little bit to get that vertical speed into the negatives. Alright. And she does slow down quite well with flaps 9. So you can wait till you bleed off a little speed or altitude. Then you can kick in. I think they did skip a flaps detent, so X-Crafts did, so just FYI. I think is it 22 they skipped? No, I don't think it's 22 they skipped one of them. Yeah, they skipped 22, I think. I don't know if any jungle jet drivers out there could chime in, that'd be great. But I think they did skip a flap detent. Probably because it's not regularly used. My assumption. Alright, so got her nice and lined out there. I'm gonna add a little nose down trim to help me out, then we'll keep that power in there to manage that vertical speed. I want to keep it around 500 foot per minute, roughly a 3-degree glide path, give or take, plus or minus,
1,000.
There we go. So right now I'm set 48, 49% in 1, and she seems to be holding pretty good. Speed's about 115. So I think that's what the VREF was, somewhere around there. This is where just fly the airplane. All right. I'm gonna try to hit the touchdown aiming markers. So I want to aim just shy of that. I'm actually looking at the numbers, so all right, I'm kicking a little power. Bring that nose up. A little bit of trim to help me out.
100.
All right, gonna ride that ground effect a little bit. Walk that power out, or you will float, just like that. All right. Thrusters engaged. Spoilers deployed. A little forward pitch there on the nose. All right, got that weight transferred from the wings to the wheels there, and we'll get on the brakes. Decel, thank you, sir. And we'll catch this high-speed exit and contact ground point 5. All right, cool. Cool. Just a fun airplane to fly. My goodness, this thing's fun. All right, so it'd be nice to kind of have an FO to clean the airplane up for you, but I guess we'll do it. All right. So flaps up, spoilers are closed, taxi lights on, strobe lights off. There we go. I was like, wait. All right, squeeze the brakes a little bit there, and got the APU fired up there. Actually, guys, when I'm taxiing, let me see if I want to show you guys something that I noticed. I'm not sure if it's something with the 3D model or what, but can we see? Absolutely, I'm about to get you guys an outside view right Now, if my mouse will stop being weird, be pretty cool. Those of you who are new to the channel, though, welcome. I do appreciate the visit. Keep me company. All right, so let's zoom in. I want to show you guys this. You guys see that? You guys see right there? There's no, like I said, I'm not sure if it's to deal with the model or me. But let's go here into an external view and a chase view. So yeah, I see it just fine. Are you a tomato? No vegetable. There's a exterior view there. Got a wing view there. So like I said, we do have a little bit of wing flex, but if you go to the tower view, you guys see that? So I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. Like I said, now it's starting to kind of come into view there. Yeah, I was just north of those touchdown points, but oh well. But yeah, reversers deploy just fine. That looks good there. Just a little, I don't know. You know, like I said, it's just, I don't know. If you want to be petty, you know, you can kind of look at that, but it's like, yeah. I mean, just a beautiful model, though. Look at that. I love that they really did a good job down there with the trailing link landing gear, which is the reason why so many Embraer landings are just butter smooth. You know, beats the heck out of a Saab. So yeah, just really, really nice model. It would be kind of cool to get the interior, you know, how you can hear the jack screws and everything actuate, but, you know, I'm pretty sure TSS will do something. That's the draw distance, just to draw things to near the save the GP. Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's my only oh, perfect. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that was my biggest gripe about it. It's not really a gripe. I just didn't know what the heck it was. Because I remember I thought I saw something like that last night, or not last night, night before last night, and you know, I'm like, well, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the night vision or something like that that caused the issue. But glad we got that cleared up. All right, so we'll taxi here and taxi to the gate, and we'll call this thing slick. Just a really fun airplane. I love these regional jets because, you know, those of you, you know, who, you know, you don't really do, because I don't do a lot of long hauls. So, you know, this is perfect for me. You know, you can set up like a little short, you know, 30-minute flight, hour flight, something like that, you know. Get your flight sim fixed in, and you're good to go. So, yeah, I just, you know, love these RJs. And just another interior view there. And guys, I don't know, this airport just isn't the, you know, the best. What's your computer specs? Thanks for the live. Oh, no worries. My computer specs, so I run an i7, I think it's a 6700K with a GTX 1080. I'm running 6 gigs of DDR4. Heck, what else? Yeah, 6 gigs DDR4, water cooled. I think my clock is about 4.6 gigs, I think, on a CPU clock. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's decent, not too bad, gets the job done. All right, looks like we're all set up there. So, like I said, pretty simple to turn off. Just you hear the buses click there. Beacon light off, pumps off, and all that. And like I said, you can actually come outside. I love the menu here. You come outside and they put the little covers on for you. You can hit the menu, GPU, cargo door, and all the little ground toys out there for you to enjoy. And like I said, really nice model, and just a fantastic airplane. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, not much to the flight management computer programming and all. I mean, not much to getting it set up there. So yeah, have at it. The manuals are really good, so check out the manuals and get out there and get some hours in on it. But other than that, guys, I appreciate it. Really do appreciate the streams. Like I said, I don't really keep it overly serious. So be sure, if you care for it, cool, shoot me a like or subscribe or whatnot, and I'll do my best to keep you guys with content. And until next time, you guys have an awesome Sunday. And man, you guys take care of yourselves. Thanks for the visit.